Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's podcast. Today we will start a long story about a man named Tom. This is part one of our story, and it will be very long and detailed. Let's begin. Tom is a 27-year-old man. He lives in a big, noisy city. He works every day in an office, and he is very tired of his life. Every day he wakes up at 6 a.m. He takes a bus for 1 hour. He sits at a desk for 8 hours. He goes home late, eats dinner, and sleeps. His life feels boring, stressful, and empty. One day, Tom looks in the mirror and says, "I want a different life. I want something new. I want to feel happy again." He opens his laptop and starts searching for small towns. After 2 hours, he finds a beautiful place called Riverside Town. The town is small, clean, quiet, and peaceful. There's a big river, many trees, friendly people, small shops, and colorful houses. Tom feels something warm inside. He thinks, maybe this is the place for me. The next weekend, Tom decides to visit Riverside Town. He wakes up early, packs his bag, buys a coffee, and takes a train. The train ride is long, about 3 hours, but Tom likes it. He sits near the window and watches the mountains, green fields, and small villages. For the first time in months, he feels relaxed. When the train arrives, Tom steps outside and smiles. The air is fresh, the sky is blue. The birds are singing. He can hear the river in the distance. Tom walks through the streets. There are small bakeries with fresh bread. There are little cafes with chairs outside. There are people walking slowly, smiling, talking gently. Everything feels calm. Tom goes to a cafe called Sunny Cup Cafe. Inside, he meets a friendly woman named Emma. She is the owner of the cafe. She has short brown hair, green eyes, and a warm smile. Emma says, "Hi there. Welcome to Sunny Cup Cafe. Is this your first time here?" Tom laughs and says, "Yes, this is my first time in Riverside Town." Emma answers, "Well, I hope you enjoy the town. It's small, but it's special." Tom sits down and drinks his coffee. He watches the people. He listens to the river outside. Something in his heart changes. The town feels like home. After a few hours, he walks near the river. He sees children playing, old men fishing, and couples walking hand in hand. The water shines in the sunlight. Tom feels peaceful, almost like he is dreaming. Tom sits on a bench and thinks about his life, his job, his apartment, his stress. He says to himself, quietly, "Maybe I can start again. Maybe I can begin a new life here." He looks at the river and smiles. And this is where our story begins. The next morning, Tom woke up early. The sun was still low and the sky had soft orange colors. He quickly got dressed and quietly left the house. He didn't want his parents to know yet because they would not understand why he wanted to go into the forest alone. His backpack was ready, a small bottle of water, some sandwiches, a flashlight, and of course, the mysterious map. Tom walked slowly toward the forest. The village was quiet, and the birds were singing softly. As he reached the edge of the forest, he stopped for a moment. The trees looked taller than usual. Their branches moved slowly in the wind, and the leaves made soft whispers. It was strange, almost like the forest was alive. Tom opened the map carefully. He wanted to find the glowing stone. According to the map, the first clue was near the old oak tree, deep in the center of the forest. He took a deep breath and entered the forest. The path was not easy. Twigs and branches touched his face, and the ground was wet and slippery. Tom heard the sounds of animals, birds, squirrels, and even a strange rustle that he could not identify. His heart beat faster. He was both scared and excited. After 20 minutes of walking, Tom reached the old oak tree. It was enormous. Its trunk was very thick, and its branches stretched high into the sky. He looked around carefully. Something shiny was near the roots. It was small, round, and glowing faintly. Tom approached slowly. It was a stone, just like the map showed. But as he touched it, the ground beneath him shook slightly. The forest was changing. Shadows moved in strange ways, and the wind seemed to whisper his name. Suddenly, a small animal appeared. It was a fox, but not like any fox Tom had seen. Its fur had silver stripes, and its eyes were very bright. The fox looked at Tom, and then it ran a few steps before stopping and looking back at him, as if inviting him to follow. Tom felt nervous but curious. He followed the fox carefully. It led him to a small clearing, hidden by tall ferns. In the middle of the clearing was an old wooden chest. The chest had carvings of animals and stars, just like the symbols on the map. Tom slowly opened the chest. Inside, he found a small notebook, a golden compass, and a strange key. The notebook's pages had more drawings of strange animals, magical plants, and hidden paths in the forest. Tom realized that this was more than a simple adventure. It was a test. The forest wanted to see if he was ready for its secrets. Hours passed as Tom studied the notebook. The sun moved slowly across the sky. He understood that to continue, he needed to use the compass and follow the hidden paths shown in the drawings. Each path had challenges, crossing rivers, climbing rocks, and sometimes hiding from animals he did not know. As the evening came, Tom built a small camp near a stream. He ate a sandwich and drank water while thinking about the day. He opened the notebook again and read the note one more time. The forest remembers the ones who are patient and brave. It will reveal its secrets to those who respect it. Tom realized that this journey was not just about finding the glowing stone. It was about learning patience, courage, and observation. Every step, every choice, every moment in the forest mattered. The night was quiet. The stars shone above the forest, and Tom felt a strange connection to the world around him. He could hear the soft whispers of the trees and the gentle movements of animals in the dark. He knew that tomorrow would bring new challenges, new mysteries, and perhaps even magical surprises. Tom went to sleep next to the stream, holding the compass and the notebook close. He dreamed of strange lights in the forest, animals guiding him, and paths he had never imagined. He was ready for the next day, ready to follow the forest's secrets, and ready to become a part of the mysterious adventure. The next morning, Tom woke up before sunrise again. The forest was quiet, except for the sound of birds and the gentle flow of the stream near his camp. He packed his small belongings carefully, the compass, the notebook, and a few sandwiches. Today, he decided, he would follow the first hidden path shown in the notebook. As he walked deeper into the forest, the trees grew taller, and the light became softer, filtered through thick leaves. The air smelled fresh and earthy. Tom noticed small flowers and mushrooms he had never seen before. Every sound seemed louder in the quiet morning, the crack of a branch, the distant call of a bird, and the whisper of the wind through the leaves. Suddenly, the compass began to glow faintly. Tom looked at it closely. The needle pointed not north, but toward a narrow, winding path between two large trees. He knew this must be the direction the notebook showed. Tom followed the path carefully. The ground was uneven, with roots and stones, making it difficult to walk. At one point, he slipped and fell, but he quickly got up, brushed himself off, and continued. He felt a strange mixture of fear and excitement. After walking for a long time, Tom reached a small clearing. In the center, there was a large, flat stone with strange symbols carved into it. He knelt down to examine the carvings. They were the same as some of the drawings in the notebook, and next to them was a small hole, just the right size for the key he had found in the chest. Tom took a deep breath. His hands were shaking slightly as he placed the key in the hole. He turned it slowly. There was a soft click, and the stone began to move. Slowly, it slid to the side, revealing a hidden staircase leading down into the ground. Tom hesitated. He had never been underground before, and the dark staircase looked long and mysterious. But he remembered the note in the notebook. "The forest will guide the brave. Trust your heart." With courage, Tom descended the staircase. The air grew cooler, and he could hear water dripping somewhere in the distance. The walls were covered in moss and tiny glowing fungi, which gave the passage a soft, magical light. At the bottom of the staircase, Tom entered a large underground chamber. It was filled with strange crystals, each one glowing with a different color. The chamber smelled fresh and slightly sweet, like flowers mixed with rain. In the center of the room was a pool of clear water. The notebook had mentioned the mirror of the forest, and Tom realized this must be it. He approached the pool carefully. The water was perfectly still, reflecting the crystals and the light above. Tom looked into the water, and for a moment he saw not only his reflection, but also faint images of animals, trees, and paths he had not yet discovered. The mirror of the forest seemed alive, showing him parts of the forest he had not yet explored. Suddenly he heard a soft voice. "Welcome, Tom." He looked around, but saw no one. The voice was calm, gentle, and seemed to come from everywhere at once. Who are you?" Tom asked nervously. "I am the spirit of the forest. I look at those who are brave enough to follow the map and seek the truth. You have done well to come this far, but your journey is just beginning." Tom felt amazed and a little scared. He had never believed in spirits or magic before, but now he knew the forest was alive in ways he could not fully understand. The voice continued, "In this forest, every choice matters. Every action, every step, every thought is important. You must continue with courage, respect, and patience. Tomorrow you will face new challenges that will test your heart and your mind. Remember, the forest protects those who protect it in return." Tom nodded, understanding the weight of the words. He stayed by the pool for a while longer, observing the crystals and the reflections. He realized that this journey was not just about finding the glowing stone. It was about learning, growing, and becoming brave in ways he had never imagined. Finally, Tom decided to rest in the chamber for the night. He placed his backpack carefully on a flat rock, ate a small sandwich, and drank some water. The forest above was quiet, and the crystals glowed softly, filling the chamber with a calm light. As he closed his eyes, he thought about the adventures waiting for him. Rivers to cross, animals to meet, puzzles to solve, and secrets of the forest to discover. He knew that tomorrow would bring new experiences, challenges, and lessons, and for the first time he felt truly ready to face them. Tom stood on the far side of the River of Shadows, his shoes wet and his clothes slightly dirty, but his spirit was high. He looked at the forest ahead. The trees were taller here, their trunks twisted in strange shapes, and the sunlight barely reached the forest floor. Strange sounds echoed from the depths, birds calling, leaves rustling, and occasionally a soft whisper that seemed almost like words. He opened the notebook again. There was a new drawing, a tall, hollow tree with a door carved into it. According to the map, this tree was home to the Forest Keeper, a mysterious guardian who knew the secrets of the glowing stone. Tom felt both excited and nervous. As he walked toward the hollow tree, he noticed something unusual. Tiny lights floated in the air around him. They looked like fireflies, but brighter and moving in patterns, almost like they were guiding him. He decided to follow them carefully, making sure not to lose sight of the path. After a long walk, he reached the hollow tree. Its door was carved with intricate patterns, animals, stars, and strange symbols he had seen before in the notebook. Tom took a deep breath and knocked gently. The door creaked open slowly. Inside, it was dimly lit by glowing crystals embedded in the walls. A figure stepped forward. It was the Forest Keeper, a tall, thin creature with bright green eyes and long, flowing hair that seemed to shimmer with light. Its voice was calm but powerful. "Welcome, young traveler," the Forest Keeper said. "I have been waiting for someone brave enough to follow the map. You have shown courage and patience, but the forest tests everyone differently. Are you ready for the next challenge?" Tom nodded, feeling a mixture of fear and excitement. The Forest Keeper continued, "Inside this forest, every creature, every path, every secret has a purpose. To find the glowing stone, you must prove your understanding of the forest. You will face puzzles, meet unusual animals, and make choices that will shape your journey. Are you prepared to continue?" "Yes," Tom whispered. "I want to learn and find the stone." The Forest Keeper smiled. "Very well. Take this." It handed him a small, glowing pendant. "This will help you see hidden paths and understand the whispers of the forest. Keep it close and trust it." Tom put the pendant around his neck. It glowed softly, warming his chest. He felt a new confidence, a feeling that he was not alone. The Forest Keeper guided him to a narrow path. "Follow this, but remember, the forest watches, and your choices matter. Be kind, be careful, and pay attention to everything you see." Tom walked slowly, noticing the smallest details, the pattern of leaves on the ground, the sound of water dripping from branches, the eyes of animals watching him silently. Every step felt important, every moment a lesson. Hours passed. He crossed small streams, climbed rocks, and navigated through thick bushes. Sometimes he had to backtrack when a path was blocked, and sometimes he discovered small treasures, berries, strange flowers, or tiny animals he had never seen before. As the sun began to set, he found a quiet clearing. In the center was a small pond, surrounded by stones covered in moss. The light of the pendant glowed brighter here. Tom approached the pond and saw the reflection of the sky, the forest, and himself. Suddenly, a soft voice whispered from the water, almost like the forest itself was speaking. "Your journey is long, but your heart is strong. Keep moving, learn, and trust yourself. Tomorrow will bring a new challenge, and your courage will grow even more." Tom smiled. He knew that each day in the forest was teaching him something valuable: patience, courage, observation, and respect. He lay down near the pond, listening to the sounds of the forest at night, and fell asleep, dreaming of the glowing stone and the adventures still ahead. The next morning, Tom woke up to the soft sounds of birds singing and leaves rustling. The forest was peaceful, but he knew today would be another challenging day. He checked his notebook and pendant. The pendant glowed softly, as if reminding him to trust it. He packed his backpack carefully and stood up, ready for whatever the forest had in store. Following the narrow path that the forest keeper had shown him, Tom soon noticed that the forest was changing. The trees were taller, and the canopy above was so thick that very little sunlight reached the forest floor. Strange shadows moved between the trunks, and he heard whispers carried by the wind. Some of the whispers seemed like words, some like laughter, and some like warnings. Tom took a deep breath and whispered to himself, "Stay calm, pay attention, keep moving forward." As he walked deeper, he came across a small stream. The water was crystal clear, and he could see small fish swimming quickly. Near the edge of the stream there was a wooden bridge, but it looked old and fragile. Tom hesitated. He knew he had to cross, but he also didn't want to fall into the water. He remembered the forest keeper's words, "Be careful, be kind, and pay attention to everything you see." Slowly, he stepped onto the first plank. It creaked under his weight. Then the second. Then the third. His heart was pounding, but he continued carefully, balancing with his arms outstretched. Halfway across, the plank wobbled, and he almost fell. He froze, took a deep breath, and focused. Step by step, he made it to the other side. On the other side of the bridge, Tom noticed footprints in the mud. They were small, almost like an animal's, but the pattern was unusual. Curious, he decided to follow them. The footprints led him to a small hill covered in wildflowers. At the top of the hill, he could see a large, ancient tree. Its trunk was wide, and its branches stretched high into the sky. Tom approached the tree and noticed a small door at the base. This must be another hidden place, just like the hollow tree of the forest keeper. He knocked gently, and the door opened slowly. Inside, he found a cozy room with soft moss covering the floor, glowing crystals in the walls, and a small table with a parchment on it. The parchment had a riddle written in golden ink. "I am not alive, but I can grow. I have no mouth, but I can speak. I have no legs, but I can move. What am I?" Tom thought carefully. He remembered the creatures, the whispers, and the strange movements in the forest. Then he smiled. "A river?" he guessed. The parchment glowed and shifted. The riddle changed. "Close, but think of something that can change and move quietly, giving life to many." Tom closed his eyes and thought. "The wind. It moves, it is invisible, and it helps trees grow." The parchment glowed brighter. The room filled with a soft light, and a small compartment in the wall opened. Inside was a tiny key and another note. "Take this key. It will guide you to the next stage of your journey. Trust the forest and trust yourself." Tom carefully took the key and placed it in his backpack. He felt stronger, braver, and more confident than ever before. He knew that the forest was teaching him lessons, not just about survival, but about courage, observation, patience, and trust. As the sun began to set, Tom decided to find a safe place to rest. He found a soft patch of grass near a stream, listened to the flowing water, and watched the fireflies begin to light up around him. The forest seemed alive, full of secrets and full of lessons waiting to be discovered. Lying down, Tom reflected on everything he had learned. Patience is important when facing challenges. Careful observation can reveal hidden paths. Courage is not the absence of fear, but moving forward despite it. Every step, no matter how small, brings him closer to understanding the forest and finding the glowing stone. He fell asleep under the stars, excited for the adventures that tomorrow would bring, knowing that the forest was not just a place of mystery, but a teacher, a friend, and a world full of possibilities.